Hey, up. Let's get up.
Lost in the Strip, episode 107. Old takes. RIP to Tina Turner, the private dancer. Shout out to Regina in Eastwood. Regina, peace, love, and soul. Train to Duke and Travis on this beautiful Saturn day. Regina, peace, love, and soul to the gods and goddesses in the chat on this beautiful Saturn's day. Tina, she's Rose and Power, RIP, such a talented soul. Eastwood, I see y'all playing Nutbush Finest. Private Dancer and What's Love Got to Do With It are my favorites of her rock and roll artistry.
Yeah.
Eastwood, enough of the tether horn. Tina was FBA.
How y'all doing, man, on this Saturday?
It's a beautiful day.
It's a pretty good day.
It's got a nice breeze outside.
Yeah, it's nice.
Decent.
It's
not too stuffy.
Decent day, I'll say.
It's good.
All right, man. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff going on politically, socially.
That's it on Tina?
No, we're gonna move. I'm just introducing some of the topics.
Okay.
We got lots to talk about. We ain't been talking about the geopolitical stuff the last couple of weeks. Probably not gonna go into it this week either. That'll be something we'll talk about next week. What's going on? Because the Russia-Ukraine thing's still going on. BRICS still happening. All the other stuff with the banks. We're gonna speak on more social, some domestic topics this week. Huh?
Social black issues.
Well, first up, seeing how we just played the Tina Turner's
finest.
Tina Turner, Queen of Rock and Roll, dies at age 83 in Switzerland. Now, as my age group will probably know her best for the movie
What's Love Got to
Do With It,
starring the actress Angela Bassett. Every time I hear those songs, I think of Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
And of course, the great actor Lawrence Fishburne.
So yeah, she passed away in Switzerland. A lot of people talking about her death and the music that she produced was great music. So yeah, it was. I don't like introducing death at the beginning of the shows as much,
but we do.
But we end up doing it anyway. So let us know if y'all don't appreciate that, because we'll definitely move it around. I mean, you want to start with death, or just start with a celebration that some people say. What they're saying.
Eastwood, can y'all ask my wife Joy to comment? She on now. Give her a shout out.
What up, Joy? Let me see you say something in the comments.
Shout out to Eastwood's wife, Miss Joy.
Yeah, so last week we talked about Jim Brown. This week now it's Tina Turner,
the philanthropist.
Yeah. Are you fine?
Couldn't say it last week. Could say it this week. It was on my damn tongue.
So yeah, she passed away. We don't speak ill. I don't speak ill on the dead, so I'm gonna leave the topic alone.
Lying.
When?
You don't speak ill in public.
Well, ain't that where it matters?
No, it ain't where it matters, because if you're gonna talk shit when they on off air, you can talk shit while they on air. You said some things about Tina. You agree with Judge Joe Brown that she was a pimp.
Look at you snitching.
She shot somebody.
Yeah, it's the stories out there, but I'm not gonna speak on it. She's gone now. She's in the spiritual realm, waiting for.
Yeah,
like the rest of us will be waiting for judgment.
She's a Swiss artist, not a.
Yeah, she did
Black American artist.
She did announce her American citizenship.
Yeah, when you look at the Wikipedia, it says Swiss.
So it is what
Swedish.
It is. But anyway,
artist.
Let's move on. We're not gonna go into the drama around her.
Yeah,
we don't speak on the dead. So.
R.I.P. Tina. We can't judge you.
Let's move on.
You want to so bad.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do, nigga.
Don't put it on me. We got a new color purple.
A beautiful silly.
What that supposed to mean? What we saying? All right, okay. Fantasia shines in the Color Purple musical remake trailer. We're gonna show the trailer. It's loading up for.
I'm loading up for you.
Oh, what's loading up for me?
You have a lot of smoke for the color purple. Nigga said color purple.
What's the difference?
The color purple.
What's the difference?
It's a difference.
All right, hold on. Let me sorry y'all. Get this in order. Share screen. Sorry y'all, hold on. We got how to do this. Window. What, nigga? All right, we're ready now. Hold on. Y'all should see this.
Can y'all see the screen?
Let me just take this off the screen right quick.
Well, we'll know because Eastwood the only one that'll say something.
All right, let me just show the trailer for the new Color Purple.
Mr. is now a tether. He's no longer a Black American. Yeah.
I try to move it.
And he's part of that alphabet group.
You said what?
He's a tether, and he's a part of that alphabet group.
That's a long way from who played her before. What's his name?
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
He ain't no better. He part of that Pan-Africanist.
No, he's part of that Santeria religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's part of that.
He's Dominican. The guy is Dominican.
Yeah, he's Dominican.
Afro-Dominican.
Even if we have to part, you and me.
Oh.
Us have.
And
they got big plans for Halle Berry.
I'm about to say
Bailey.
Hey, the Bailey, the both of them, they're kind of being pushed.
She's being pushed more though.
She's been pushed in more of the acting sphere.
Yeah.
The other one is pushed in the musical sphere, being signed to Beyonce and all the other stuff.
She's more like Beyonce as far as innocence in the beginning, and Chloe's acting out the older stage of Beyonce. But I would watch out for Haley more than Chloe.
I have one heart.
Oh, nothing I didn't know.
Nigga, let the trailer play.
Listen, the original character who played her, what's her name in the movie?
She was Ghanaian.
She was
John Singleton's baby mama. The late great John Singleton. That's his baby mama.
Just throw that out there too. The whole trailer.
Shout out to Fantasia, one of North Carolina's finest. I love Fantasia.
What up, Jay Henderson?
Oh, give us a shout out to Sassy Shantae.
Shantae.
Hey, fam. Jay Henderson, shout out to him. Hey, fam. Regina, oh my God, these remakes are so unnecessary. On the other hand, though, I now realize it's a part of the reset.
I'm so glad you said that word reset.
Eastwood, they out here trying to align us with African tethers. Knowing dilation is movement.
Mm-hmm.
These remakes are never as good or better than the original. It looks okay though.
Oh, look at you.
Because I think it's more of a musical.
Let me make sure I point out once again.
I think it's because it's Fantasia. That's why I'm more soft on it.
Let me say that I do know Fantasia's some of her public beliefs that I support. I don't know if y'all know some of her beliefs that she's spoken on the last decade or so.
As far as what?
Her beliefs on Black people, who we are, and all that stuff. So I want to trust.
Dude, she's in the industry.
Let me finish what I'm saying. I want to trust that there's at least one person in the industry that has some level of integrity where they wouldn't accept a role that would go against their core beliefs. But I guess I'll be heartbroken again.
Fantasia is in the industry.
Yeah.
She's done what she has to do to be in the industry. It is what it is. We can say we like her, but it is what it is. Oh, yeah. One more. Regina. Most of the Black Hollywood weird is tether. Very few FBA exist there. Just found out earlier today. True. For CCH, Pounder is Ghanese. Yep. Okay, Regina, fact say Shantae, and why would the remake? White man can't jump.
Oh, that's another
that's crazy. We're about to go into that next.
So you see right here, the new adaptation of Alice Walker's novel in the 1985 film will premiere in North America on December 25th, on Christmas too. Now, the original Color Purple obviously was very, very controversial. I know a lot of people like to reinvent history now and make it seem like it was never controversial. Only in the modern last decade or so has it became a movie that people demonized. But even back in the 80s, there were people wanting this movie out of movie theater, didn't want this movie to go public. But anyway, growing up, and this might not be the best thing, Lord, this might not be the best thing, but growing up, The Color Purple was a comedy dash.
It was.
We used to
You told Hoppo to beat
like
me.
we used to take quotes from this movie and use them throughout regular everyday life for jokes
to make fun.
We never saw this movie having the impact it has as far as politically or socially on the Black community as far as relationships and such. And maybe we over exaggerate its importance or impact, but I don't think we do. I think The Color Purple had a very, very impactful negative impact on the Black community as far as the imagery and such, and the storyline that they pushed in the movie as far as what they deemed to be normal in the early 1900s in the South amongst Black people. So
Jay Henderson, I don't normally drop pronouns, but Jay is joy.
okay.
I am she.
Oh, I'm sorry. Joy Henderson, apologies.
Yeah.
So
put some respect on the missus.
Oprah Winfrey and Steven Spielberg have reunited and revived The Color Purple into a movie musical directed by Blix Bazawul. I don't know how you say that. After the debuting footage of distributors in CinemaCon last month, Warner Brothers has released the first trailer for the new adaptation, which is set to premiere in North America on Christmas. Yada yada yada.
You know,
go ahead.
I'm surprised they didn't go get Cynthia Erivo.
I think because of
she's in the musical because Harriet Tubman, the controversy behind it.
I think they didn't do it because of that reason.
Yeah.
Now they did do a musical for The Color Purple. I think it was in the UK a couple years ago.
They've done several.
Well, I know that it's a constant thing, but there was a big one.
People.
Yeah, there was a big one they did a few years ago. So I kind of saw a remake coming. Now I've seen people say that they're kind of going more of the musical route in this one.
Yeah,
more of the musical, more like the play, and not following the movie as much.
Yeah,
but we know there's gonna be certain things that's still gonna be in the movie. So,
well, you saw him putting the ass out. So,
well, are they gonna put everything that was in the movie in this movie?
Or everything they didn't put in the movie that was in the book? Because Suge and Celie was supposed to be.
Yeah. They kind of put it in there. They insinuated.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all get the point. It's coming out. A lot of people against it. Now I want to show. There's this article. Hopefully this shows.
Eastwood said, I want to see the remake of Titanic starring Michael B. Jordan. Oh, hell no. That's too many words and lines for him.
Why y'all keep pushing this narrative that Michael B. Jordan can't act?
Well, they push a narrative that I can't read, so I push a narrative that Michael B. Jordan can't act.
Okay, so this right here is an article from 1986. The Color Purple is blacked out, where a whole bunch of leaders were basically against this movie being pushed out and all this stuff. Now, this is another article from 1986. It says, some people say that this is from 1986. Some people say The Color Purple is only a movie, but many Black people disagree. No, it's not just a movie, says Nate Clay in the interview. It is a statement made out of context used as a pretext to make one more lick at society rejects. Mr. Clay is an editor at the Chicago Metro News, a weekly Black-owned newspaper. Are there any more Black-owned newspapers?
Regina and Eastwood or George. Shout out to George. George has arrived fashionably late.
You said what?
Do y'all know any Black newspapers that are still out and about? Shout out to Brianley Floyd.
What up?
The Baltimore native.
Look at you still doing it.
Be more.
So in the living rooms and taverns and radio shows and newspaper columns and community forums in many parts of the country, Black men and Black women are arguing about the movie's depiction of Black men and its possible repercussions. At the film's premiere in Los Angeles, December 18, dozens of pickets marched outside the theater. On a chilly Tuesday night in Chicago recently, nearly 1,000 Blacks crammed into the Progressive Community Church for a heated discussion on the film. And Friday night, more than 200 people in New York filled the fellowship hall at St. James Presbyterian Church in Harlem for a similar exchange. No media vehicle since Roots has caused this kind of dialogue. Observed Chuck Sutton hosted a program on the subject last week. And it's funny to compare this movie to Roots because it was fiction as well. Roots was a story written by a white man who a Black man plagiarized and made into a movie and then got sued and lost.
Yep.
Roots is not real. There was no Kunta Kinte. It doesn't exist.
There might have been somebody over there named Kunta Kinte.
Yeah, okay. And there's more. There might be more people now named Kunta Kinte than before that movie.
How many Negroes named their kids Kunta Kinte?
There might be more now than before that movie. But anyway, the movie, directed by Steven Spielberg and based in a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Alice Walker, tells the story of Cili, a Black woman.
Regina said, No major ones here in the Pacific Northwest, just local.
Okay.
The facts.
So it says many black women defend the film, saying it accurately reflects their own experience or experience of women they know. Many black men and some black women contend that it leaves a misleading picture of blacks in America and distorts their history. Oprah Winfrey hosted a television talk show Chicago, who says Sophia, Shelley's stepdaughter-in-law in the movie, said the movie is trying to represent the history of black people in the country any more than The Godfather was trying to represent the history of Italian Americans. In this case, it's one woman's story. Many women say it's also their story. Thomas, a telephone company employee in Chicago, said she knew many Sillies when she grew up in Sunflower County, Mississippi. She, her mother, and her aunts were all beaten and otherwise brutalized by their husbands. Ms. Thompson, the movie said, just lifted a burden. Black women should not be sacrificed for black women's pride. Let the film roll. Arguments heard before. All right, so what you think? So you know, for the most part, we all against remakes. But after seeing the trailer,
I think it's more of a musical, so it's fine with me.
so you're okay with this movie being released?
Yeah, I ain't gonna go see it. So
you're not gonna go see it, but you're okay with it existing.
I'm okay with it being out there, existing.
You don't think this is a
far
part,
more worse things? You
don't think that after this movie was released, and maybe possibly some of the things, the images being painted in this movie are starting to wear off, and now it's trying to reprogram it again for the next generation? You think
it's
that's
starting
possible?
to wear off?
Maybe. I'm asking the question. Do you think this is part of a reprogramming for the younger generation?
Maybe so, but I don't see where it's worn off. They still battling it out on social media.
I'm not talking about the gender war thing. I'm talking about imagery. Maybe now you could say that there's a lot more black people with platforms now, that those things can't easily survive as easy as it used to.
Eastwood said musical or not, it's still anti-black.
You agree?
I would have to see it to know that it was anti-black.
Well, it's based off a book that we know is, right?
God damn, I don't know if it's just like the book.
Wait, it has to be just like it to be a negative?
No, dude. It don't have to be just like it to be a negative.
All right, so y'all hear it here first.
I feel like I have to watch it for analytical purposes. Thank you, Sassy Shantae. Brilliantly flawed, goofy ass remixes.
All right, let me show one more thing. I'm gonna show now this person I'm about to show next was what the hell?
Regina said, I didn't realize it's considered a musical. Still enough with the remakes.
I agree. I'm
so
not.
It's okay to lynch us in a musical.
Well, hey, is he lying?
Sometimes we use the word lynching a little.
When we use the word wrong,
sometimes.
When we use lynching wrong. Now this right here was another. I'm not even gonna read this Twitter thing. I don't care about the Twitter argument. I'm gonna play this video by James Baldwin. A couple of black quote unquote leaders came out against this movie as well. This is James Baldwin and what he had to say about Color Purple.
I've never seen The Great Gatsby. Duke has seen The Great Gatsby, but I haven't.
Yeah, I have.
Remake The Cosbys.
Wouldn't that be something?
I'm just gonna change my name to Sassy at this point. Sassy Travis.
All right, let me just play this this reaction by James Baldwin.
The Color Purple is, of course, the most controversial of these books or movies. And the only way I can answer that question is to say that, well, the movie I thought the movie was awful, really. And in the movie, I felt that if you're going to give me that particular man, that black man, then you got to tell me more about him. You know, I quite see, that black men that can do all those things, but then there's got to be something wrong with them. And you have to let me know something more than the catalog of this man's brutality. If he were white, then he would be, Paul Newman were playing that cat. You realize he was very, very sick, and he'd have all your sympathy. You'd hope he'd get well.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think, first off, do you like the idea that every time we do stuff like this, we always compare it to another race and how they would be treated in the same scenario?
It's just natural instinct for black people at this point. Every time there's a comparison, they have to go to white people. And
speaking of the character, speaking about Mr., do you think that in that movie, Color Purple, he was shown to be a full person? or just a caricature? I feel like he was just a character in the movie.
Mister?
Yeah, he was just Mr. Badman. That's it.
Yeah.
He really didn't have any depth to his character whatsoever. The closest thing we get to the depth of his character was his father. Now, we still planning on doing a breakdown of the movie Color Purple. But one of the things I came to understand was
take a long time.
one of the things I came to think was, I remember the person who wrote this book and people who had a part in this movie, Alice Walker, they were what they call intersectional feminists. And part of their beliefs is that in America, black men are not men. Black men are not full men in America. They were not allowed to be. And that all the things that black men develop in their community as masculinity, or what they call now toxic masculinity, comes from Caucasian men. So you'll notice in the movie Color Purple, you have Mr. and you have his father, who is very much lighter than him. And that's not extreme, but his father is much lighter than him. And I always thought, was Mr.'s father supposed to be a stand-in for a white man? And were we supposed to see at that moment that Mr. got his brutality from a white man?
Maybe so.
That's just something I thought.
But the black image is very, very different. All you got to do in order to do that is be black. Well, it's an image of black people which is not entirely Alice Walker's fault. You know, that is the way the Republic has seen black people, black men, since they heard of black men.
And a lot of these people, I'm gonna stop right there. A lot of these people that were quote unquote thought leaders and all this stuff for us in the 60s up until like the 90s, most of them moved to, speaking of Tina Turner earlier, because she said she was not doing the movie Color Purple.
Exactly.
She said she wasn't doing it. Now, whatever the reason she said she wasn't doing it, that's up for discussion. People say some things are lies and truth, whatever, I don't know. But a lot of the people who were around that time left the country and went to Europe. So during that time, the narrative became that only America is racist. Only America is that racist. Now we're seeing that it's pretty worldwide.
It's not the case.
But they still painted the narrative that it was just America. So, including James Baldwin, he moved over to Europe as well. He was one of these people, another one of these people that was talking black, but, you know, sleeping white. So it is what it is. They saying something?
Oh, Eastwood said, good research. Me and the missus was just talking about Baldwin. Baldwin showed how he put his blackness before his moistness. Regina said, much respect to James Baldwin. Mr. was both. That's what Oprah been cooking. Color Purple, all these other stories to tell. James Baldwin loved him some Mandingo. Regina, you respect the oddest things.
All right. Next story. They remade White Man Can't Jump.
Was not necessary.
I didn't watch it, I'll be honest. It says White Man Can't Jump. Rapper Jack Harlow flops big in acting debut. Hulu's remake of the beloved 1992 Hoops comedy, co-written by Kenya Barris, substitute guns for flamethrowers and a spicy trash talk for empty barbs.
Another tether.
Now this is what I'm gonna say. Once again, I asked you this question because I don't really know what's the guy's name, the white guy who played in the original. Y'all know his name. He's now considered. By the way, the white dude who played in the original, and tries to get his name. The white guy who played in the original White Man Can't Jump. His father was a damn assassin, like a full assassin. Like, so that's just crazy. His name is Harold something. I forgot his name. You got it? That White Man Can't Jump cast. But anyway, so they replaced him with Jack Harlow, and they replaced Wesley Snipes, who was a known person at that point, with the guy. I only know this dude from that show Power. You got it?
Woody
Harrelson. Yeah. Woody Harrelson. I only know the black dude from the show Power. I don't know him outside of that. Do you know him?
Who, Woody?
No, this guy.
I don't know him at all. I've never.
His name is Cinquia Walls. Cinquia Walls. I don't know how to say his name. Can't spell it.
What the fuck?
What?
Why she swinging at me? Can't spell it. Shut up.
I don't know. What you say?
Oh,
how you doing, honorable?
Oh, she spelled it wrong. she spelled it Woody Harrison.
Oh, she said, oh, okay.
It's Woody Harrelson.
What did it say?
Kenya Barris is on a streak for flops and cancellations he's getting. Honorable Sienna, shout out to Honorable
I
Sienna.
just did it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
See, look at you. But yeah, they're gonna keep giving him money because he got an agenda he's fulfilling as well. Any movie he's in, he's gonna fit either a biracial or interracial couple in it. Every movie he do, he gonna get it in there. So, you know, it is what it is. He up there with
Honorable, you got to go back and see our Tina Turner
why?
tribute.
Why? Look at you. All right.
It was wonderful.
I mean, it was all right.
Eastwood, they slowly replacing FBA classics with tethers, slowly diluting our culture and accomplishments.
That's part of it too. But at this point, Hollywood don't care about flops. They have an agenda. They don't care about movies not doing well.
Hey y'all. That's it.
Here you go.
No.
All right, Beverly Hills Cop 4, plot, cast, and everything else we know. After years of development, Beverly Hills Cop Foley is finally set for release, and here's everything we know about it.
Oh, I ain't watching this shit. I was just talking about that. That's crazy.
Now, there was a time a few years ago when Kevin Hart was at the height of his popularity, where there was rumblings that he was going to be in the newer version, remake version of Beverly Hills Cop. It never happened. I got a feeling it's because somebody that was in that movie shut it down, more than likely. But what do you think? First off, you don't like Eddie Murphy being in these movies anyway. I got a question for y'all too. Life or Beverly Hills Cop?
The movie Life or Beverly Hills Cop?
Yes.
It's Life all day.
I was surprised. You saying that proudly, and I get it. I agree with you. There's a lot of people that would say Beverly Hills Cop.
White people, black people like their white actors.
What you mean? What do you got to do with a white actor?
I never watched any of the Beverly Hills Cop. I didn't watch the franchise, so I wouldn't know.
Well, how you gonna say it's better then?
Eastwood said Life. Fuck Kevin Hart and Beverly Hills Cop. Anything past Beverly Hills Cop 2 is shit. George.
I did like what's the other movie he did?
Trading Places.
Trading Places though. And would you pick that over Life?
I've never seen Trading Places.
I swear to God, somehow we grew up in the same household, but I've seen so many more movies than you saw.
Nigga, you weren't never home, so I don't
How
know.
is that possible that I saw all these movies that you didn't see? That's crazy.
Honorable Sienna said Life.
I guess most people. Most people say Life.
Oh, because it's a black audience. Oh, they fronting too.
I don't think they fronting. I just said there's a lot of people I noticed that did say. What?
No, I did not watch the Boondocks.
All right, let me move on to the next topic.
Brilliantly flawed. Life is amazing.
But Life was a comedy that's actually very, very sad. Like they spent all their life in prison for something they didn't. Like it's a sad ass movie, honestly. It's very sad.
But if
really
they would have chose different choices in life, they would have not ended up where they ended up. Eddie Murphy was into some scamming shit, but Martin Lawrence just happened to get caught up with Eddie Murphy.
That movie was also about be careful who you're around to. But yeah, anyway, Janelle Monáe is back from. We're not gonna read this article. I'm only gonna say this. I've heard Janelle Monáe's name in the last week. Go ahead.
Me, Eastwood. I did not watch the Boondocks. Trading Spaces was a great case study. Life over Beverly Hills Cop. Sad comedy movie.
Very sad comedy movie, which is Life.
That's why Travis don't know these movies. He is an era poster.
Era poster.
Or Boondocks, another great case study.
So Janelle Monáe, I've seen her name the last week more than I have ever.
Because she's been showing off them D's.
Wouldn't that be considered? Is this a form of sex magic we're seeing?
She's trying to promote pansexuality. That's what she's doing.
When she announced she was years ago.
She's the Pan-African spokesperson.
Pan what?
Pansexual.
You said Pan-African.
Pansexual spokesperson.
But yeah, I just want to say she's another one of these people in the industry that are have been given a certain image, but every once in a while they step out of it, and when they have another agenda to push. So it is what it is. Now this
That was
story
it on
here,
Janae?
huh?
That was it on Janae? Janae?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I want to talk about this, and I wasn't even gonna comment on this because this seemed like a simple story. A damn bike caused this much uproar. Mother of teen in Citi Bike video speaks out. No one bothered to ask him what happened. So apparently there was this young man who was, you know, they rent out bikes and stuff. He was returning his and docking it. She purchased one at the same time. She then said that he was trying to take hers. He denied it. She created a whole situation around it. It went viral. She then got accused of racism. But then her lawyer came out with what she considered a receipt that proved that she purchased it. But then the sister and the mother came out and said, no, this is the real story. And I just thought in my head, this is over a bike.
I mean, inflation is high out here. If I pay for this bike, I want it.
Damn bike. This is crazy. All right, let me just do this. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to read this because this is crazy. It's right here.
We lost Janae Monet's class to classless. She drank from the cups.
Yeah, she's dressed up in the suits and stuff now. Yeah. In an exclusive interview on News One, the 17-year-old who refused to give up his
Fuck the
bike
bitch on the bike for real.
Huh?
Brindley Flaw said, fuck the bitch on that bike. For real.
Give up his bike to Sarah Jane Comrie, says she's been rewarded for her antics while he and his family are suffering. It says, Mary and Michael are eager to talk to me, but Betty, their mother, is reluctant to let Michael speak with anyone. He's only 17 years old. He's my baby, Betty says. He's a senior in high school. He should be planning to attend his prom and looking forward to walking the stage at his graduation in a few weeks. But instead, he and his family are spent the last week and a half living in turmoil. Michael is the teen in the infamous Citi Bike video with Sarah Jane Comrie, the woman who has been accused of weaponizing whiteness in her tears in an effort to take the bike from the teen in New York City. Betty has seen the video after video. Betty has seen video after video of racists and trolls calling her son a thug and a thief and labeling him as a man when, in her words, he's just a boy. It hurts her that people are saying these things she knows are not true about him. Betty's upset because she said the narrative has been one-sided. And I'm going to play the video of his sister, I believe, speaking on the subject at hand. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Let me go right here. His sister spoke on it.
Notice white people only use suffering.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna play this now.
Jumped over this young man standing right here who had his hands on the handlebars, jumped over him, impales herself on his bike, and scans the QR code to begin the ride. How did all of this happen, and how do I know what happened? Because that young man is my little brother. Bike number 5603915 was in my brother's possession from St. Nicholas Ave and Manhattan Ave all the way to First Ave and East 30th Street from the hours of 6:33 p.m. to 7:19 p.m. At 7:19 p.m., they dock the bikes. Sarah Jane Comrie walks up to them, asks, "Hey guys, can I use one of you guys' bikes?" She says this as there are other bikes sitting idle at the bike rack. They politely decline. She asks them again, mentions that she's pregnant, and they still decline. Then, with my brother standing next to the bike with his hands on the handlebars, she jumps onto the bike, sits on the bike, and scans the QR code, thus beginning her ride. Mind you, the bike was in my brother's possession at this time. So this screenshot is from 6 minutes after the previous ride ended. As you can see, 7:25 p.m. Previous ride ended 7:19 p.m. These gentlemen, these boys, did not steal this bike from Sarah Jane Comrie. She stole the bike from them, then proceeded to weaponize her whiteness. Video started being recorded at 7:24 p.m., close to 7:25. My brother's ride that was in the previous screenshot starts at 7:25. The initial ride where my brother rode the bike all the way over to this bike dock ended at 7:19 p.m. There were a number of bikes at the bike rack already there when she arrived. She still proceeded to try to take the bike from my brother. Help, help, help. Trying to make it seem like these boys stole this bike from her. The bike is on my brother's account.
Oh, it's a
Regina
bike.
said, "Is it just me, or does not all these videos seem staged?" We can agree.
You can agree with
They're
that.
trying to get the black man's energy.
No, what I get from this is it's always a situation where something so simplistic. A dude in a park bird watching, get into an argument with a woman over a dog.
True. It's always in the summertime.
It's always we arguing over a damn bike. Like, this is not. I think most people would just be like, all right, you can take the bike. I'm going to get this one, whatever.
On Sienna said all of this because that lady wanted to ride the newest bike.
That was she wanted the newest one.
The bike incident is vital. This could have cost a brother their life. All they needed was the NY police or the robotic NY police to come in shooting, trying to save the Mayo packet fillings.
That I agree with. What the ramifications from this could have been.
Said we don't care.
The ramification from this could have been very dire, but the fact that it's all started over a bike is just incredible. But yeah,
George said they always doing some shit in NYC, like the black man in the park taking pics of the bird, the white woman with the dog, and she claimed he threatened her. It's all staged. She looked fake. Really flawed. Happy Asian Heritage Month. She exaggerated her mouth too much.
We got the stuff on Asians too.
Most of the shootings are something simplistic, editing at home, walking home, going to the wrong house, etc.
Parents outraged after principal questions whether son's braided hairstyle mean he is a gangster.
This is a private school.
No. Hold on. Are we getting to the respectability politics again?
It's a private school. They have the right to have whatever rules they want to have for the school. It's a private school. If you don't want to comply by those rules, then homeschool your kids or take them to a school that don't have those set of rules. Simple.
Do you understand?
It's simple.
So you think that a school should dictate a child's? We're not even talking about.
It's a private school.
We're not talking about something extreme. We're talking about braids.
If they don't want that image for their school, then that's what they don't want. Go to a school that allows to have that type of hairstyles.
We talked about this last week with John Morant. Not with John Morant, but John Morant. How him having a gun shouldn't be a big deal, but the fact that he's a young black man with dreads listening to hip hop with a gun means it automatically puts him in a certain category.
Why did John Morant have a gun just out and about for no reason?
Some people are gun enthusiasts. They like guns.
No, he was trying to get attention, garner attention, and be cool.
I didn't say that's not the point. When everybody's trying to do that, then when they get on
that's
YouTube,
happened when you're a leader, when you're a follower, not a leader.
When you see people get on social media and shoot their guns at gun ranges in front of a camera, they want attention, don't they?
Shanti. She said, "Now we're analyzing braided hair." I cannot.
I'm just this is what's going on. He said the Thorns, a black family of 5 who recently moved to the Shreveport to the Stidell area, found the principal's questioning troubling. Braided hair, they said, is wildly normalized and not a big deal. But like Travis said, I mean, it's a private school, so they get to dictate what they want in their schools.
Tell them to get a mullet.
Like
all will be fine. Regina said that's corny, or to all these weirdo hairdos all children wear at school, private and public.
That's what I'm saying. It's a child.
It's their rules.
So I guess you
go to Dr. Umar school, Eastwood, homeschooling,
yeah. So
that's why Dr. Umar Johnson is out here trying to get these campuses set up for black boys and eventually black girls, so that you can wear your hairstyles any type of way you want to. Support Dr. Umar Johnson.
There's laws already passed for you to be able to wear your hair the way you want to, though, ain't it? Isn't that the point?
What?
There's laws already passed for you to wear the hairstyle the way you want to. All right, let me
Has there been any issues with white hairstyles? Here we go, talking about white people. It's a white people school, so they're gonna have different rules for them.
They wear
Track's gonna
braids.
start reading your comments again.
They wear braids.
Hmm?
They wear braids.
Okay,
So what's the difference?
maybe they don't want cornrows.
They wear cornrows.
We don't know what they wear there.
Everybody wear cornrows.
Okay, listen, dude. It's their school. It's their rules. If they don't want your ass wearing cornrows, then you can't wear cornrows. If you want your kids to wear cornrows, homeschool their ass, put their asses back in public school, or find a private school that's okay with those type of hairstyles. It's simple. Stop fucking bitching about everything.
Finally. All right. Let me show this one real quick.
Umar is still waiting on the HVAC. Hey,
HVAC. Yeah, the HVAC.
hey,
I'll
you got to
use-
get the air system right.
Uh-huh.
Shit.
Daniel
Black people don't like, popping sweat. Get the shit right.
Daniel Penny says he felt no shame after the NYC subway death of Jordan Neely. In the first interview since placing Jordan Neely on a fatal chokehold, former U.S. Marine Daniel Penny insisted that in confrontation between the two, but had nothing to do with race, and that he not a white supremacist.
Shout out to Brandon.
What up, Brandon? Everybody who's ever met me can tell you I love all people. I love all cultures. Da, 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 da. I was actually planning a road trip through Africa before this happened.
He won't. Yeah.
Hold on. He
To
said,
choke
I'm not-
some more out.
He said, he said, I'm not a white supremacist. I love all cultures. I was actually planning to go to Africa before this happened.
Hope they're acting erratic over there too, so I can choke them out too.
Penny, 24, who is white, faces felony charges of second-degree manslaughter for the death of Neely, a 30-year-old. We know. The altercation took place. We know. However, there's been no reported indication that Neely physically attacked any person. Penny added that Neely's death was tragic and the real blame should be on the system. Remember when black people used to say the system and people would say you're just using it as a crutch? How is he allowed to use the word the system right here? He's also using the system to defend himself, but at the same time, he's blaming the system for what his actions that he had to carry out. Ain't that funny? It's tragic what happened to him. Hopefully, we can change the system that so desperately failed us, he said. But the system failed him too, along with Jordan.
Did the system what?
All right. So he said the system failed him and Jordan.
How did the system? Oh, because Jordan was homeless,
I guess homeless and had mental problems, and he didn't
and
get
because
help on the
that
street.
he had to then go ahead and eliminate the threat.
I had to do what I had to do because they ain't help
That's
him.
some bullshit.
Penny went on to say that he felt no shame when asked if he would do it again. He nodded and said, "I would if there was a threat and a danger in the present." Now, that's also part of his defense. In order to say it wasn't murder, he has to say that it was self-defense, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's part of his defense, so he has to say this. Remember when what's the guy's name in Georgia? The guys chased him down when he was jogging. He was jogging, trying to get into a house or something.
The father and son.
The father and son.
Vigilante duo.
Yeah, I forgot the guy's name they killed. Remember when the lawyer, what she said about him? When she said that he wasn't a jogger, he had dirty feet. Like, they have to say things that might be a little bit hurtful.
How you not a jogger just because you got dirty feet?
Because she said his feet wasn't properly taken care of. A runner would make sure their feet are properly taken care of because they run and stuff. You don't want injuries to happen. So if you're somebody with your nails are not done right, your feet are not clean good, and all that means you're probably not running. That's the argument she was trying to make.
That's some BS.
But that's something a lawyer has to say, though. So him saying this is not a surprise. His lawyer told him, "You got to say this. You ain't ashamed. You can do it again in order to prove
and
that
you
you're
were planning
innocent."
on going to Africa.
Yeah, he told him that. All right. Ex-Marine who allegedly killed Jordan, he says he's not racist. All right, we already talked about that. Now we got to talk about this. Get a little more political. Hollywood rapper Ice Cube suggests Black Americans should ditch Democratic Party if nothing changes.
Well, thanks for giving us advice we already know we should be doing.
If you already know it, they still ain't doing it, though.
Didn't he tell them that last time? Did they care to listen?
And they still didn't do it.
Okay.
They still didn't do it.
We got some people in the comment section that's gonna vote for Joe Biden.
I don't think so. They might pull a blade out on you for saying that out loud too.
Shit, if it's between Orange, President Orange, and Dementia Joe, they're gonna choose Dementia Joe.
Renowned rapper and Hollywood actor Ice Cube has made headlines once again, this time for his bold statement urging Black Americans to reconsider their allegiance to the Democratic Party. Ice Cube's real name is O'Shea Jackson, recently appeared on the First Sin podcast with host Kylie Forgard, or Geared, I'm sorry, I'm not say that, and Steiny Steinberg. Ice Cube's advocacy for change within the Black community has not gone unnoticed. He has worked to bridge the gap between politicians and grassroots movements, among other several projects that have policy proposal documents contract with Black America. Back in 2020, Ice Cube was criticized for working with then President Trump on his plan for Black Americans. He didn't work with Trump.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. He already had his plan. He said, "But I wanted to sit down with both parties." And Biden them told him, "We'll talk to you after the election."
And didn't.
Ice Cube tweeted in defense of his partnership with Trump. Every side is the dark side of for us here in America. They're all the same until someone changes for us. They're all lie and they all cheat. But we can't afford not to negotiate with whoever is in power, or our condition in this country never change. Our justice is bipartisan.
Brilliantly flawed. Who is Ice Cube's rabbi voting for?
Well, yeah. All of them got rabbis. So
It depends.
You know,
Trump was a little bit more generous to the Jews, wouldn't you say?
very.
He gave them more.
They were calling him a figure in the scriptures. They were giving Trump a lot of the Jewish people were giving Trump a lot of clout. And in Israel, and to the end, they kind of done with him now. After what he said, when he said he told the Jewish people, if you're Jewish and you vote Democrat, you're a traitor to Jews or something like that. He kind of burned the bridge with a lot of them was saying something like that. But yeah, let me show this video of Q where he expressed his opinion.
Like propaganda and stuff like that. What was that like getting flack for that?
I mean, I never supported Trump or Biden. I never asked to speak to the Republicans or the Democrats. I created a document called The Contract with Black America that spelled out a lot of issues after George Floyd was killed. And I released the document, and everybody wanted to talk to me. The Republicans asked to talk to me, and the Democrats. I went to talk to both of them about the contract. The Republicans asked, could they implement some things from the contract into their proposal? And I said the document was open for anybody to use in any way they desired. So if they just want to use it as educational purposes, they could. They wanted to add more, paragraphs or more ideas to it, they could. They wanted to use it to get a law change, they could. So I didn't mind them using it. I met with the Democrats. The Democrats said, we like 90% of what's in there, and we'll talk to you after the election about it.
There's like a stigma amongst like the African American community to like Republicans and stuff like that.
I don't know what's going on in the African American community when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Like, Black people have supported Democrats, overwhelmingly for 50, 60 years. And nothing has changed. So something's got to change.
Let's think about Ice Cube's words there.
I thank the brother for trying to encourage his people to vote better and do better. But for most Black people, it's going in one ear and out the other ear. They're still going to vote Democratic Party.
Yeah, I think at this point it's kind of...
It's beating a damn dead horse. What that GFI where he kicking a damn horse?
You said what?
Where he kicked the damn horse?
Oh, I think I know you talking about. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna change much either.
Eastwood said, I mean, Q for president. What else do we have to lose?
Would you vote for Ice Cube?
Brinley Flawed, for the record, I like Cube.
Would you vote for Ice Cube?
Eastwood, but he needs to be talking to the new black media.
Would you vote for Ice Cube?
I don't. No, I wouldn't vote for Ice Cube.
Why not? Don't you agree with his politics?
Jay Henderson, I wrote in O'Shea Jackson last election. Yep, beating a dead horse.
So you vote?
No, I would not vote for Ice
You agree
Cube.
with his policies, though, don't you?
I
Or his politics, should I say? Come on, man.
have to read the whole entire thing.
Also, for what you know.
Yes, for what I know, I wouldn't vote for him.
Why?
Because he's in the industry. I would not vote for him.
But we're talking about politics.
Damn, dude, I wouldn't vote for him. Would you vote for him?
Maybe.
Okay, then he got a maybe. He got to vote for you, maybe.
All right, let me play. So this person right here, they said the disappointment of this man, somebody Ice Cube. He said the disappointment of this man is borderline traumatizing. You could have not told me in the 90s that this is who he'd be in 30 years later. Because he's talking about leaving the Democratic Party. Now, this is what Ice Cube said 30 years ago. Shout out to Caesar, this guy who put up this clip.
And I can't stop, won't stop. So fuck Bill and Hillary. Ice Cube, it ain't no killing me. Ice Cube, Scarface, dropping it on these sellout ass niggas. Doing
So it seems like his politics is still the same.
Agreed. Black people in NC stupid as fuck when it comes to politics and legislation. I can't.
What's so bad about black people in North Carolina? All right, let me show.
I'm gonna let that pass. All of them in the industry, Travis. Ronald Reagan started out as an actor. There's that.
Yeah. Trump did too. So now this right fact. Now this is right here because during the recent Ice Cube discussion.
Shout out to Kiefer.
What up? What up?
He said, "I live here now. I'm just saying." Well, you definitely dumbed down North Carolina now that you moved there, coming from Baltimore.
So the recent Ice Cube discussion, when people ask what has the Democrats done for Black Americans, one of the things they give to Democrats credit for is the Civil Rights Act, because obviously it's a Democratic president. I'm sorry, because the Democrats have taken that as their leading flag towards why Black Americans should trust them. But you can see right here, somebody said, fact check, 1964 Civil Rights Act was bipartisan and more Democrats voted against it than Republicans.
Well, that's not a surprise.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Democrats have found a way to make themselves out to be the safer choice, not the better choice, or the better choice, but not the right choice. They simply tell you the Republicans are so scary. You want to vote for us because we won't do as much harm to you.
But when you go back and you look at things from past history, you've seen that they've done a lot of harm.
Exactly.
And not a lot of helping.
All right. I'm trying to show this one. All right. 11-year-old Mississippi boy who was shot by responding police officer after calling 911 is released from the hospital. You went through this one?
Yes, I did.
Tell me what you think.
It's pretty sad.
All right, give me the synopsis of what you got from
it. His mother's daughter's father was there, acting erratic.
Oh, pause. Gaines. Remember there was a girl in I forgot what state. It was a woman who got shot by the police.
Yeah.
In her house with her son, holding her son. Remember that woman? It was something. Karen Gaines. Was it Karen Gaines?
The name.
Something like that. Where her and her baby father was in a domestic argument. Somebody called the cops. The cops came, let him go, and shot her. Remember that? And then we found out that the Karen Gaines woman had a bunch of videos where she was speaking out against the police and was suing the city.
She's a sovereign citizen.
Yeah, and she was suing the city for some poisoning that happened. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Kind of remind me.
So
of that.
anyway, she had him call the police, and
the little boy.
And when the officer got there, he already had his gun drawn out.
Yeah.
And he told everybody to come out of the house, and he saw the little boy, and he just shot him. And I'm glad I read the article, because I would have said something that would have been fucked up. What I would have said.
What would you think when you first heard?
No, I'm not going to say what I said.
Well, you know it's not right now, so you can say it now and say that would have been the wrong option.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Who was you going to blame somebody with?
No, I wasn't going to blame anybody.
What were you going to say? I'll try to get you to get it up out of here. So yeah, now the little boy, he seems to be fine now. We already went to the story. I already told you the body camera footage has not been released. Moore told CNN the incident was captured on police body camera video. The attorney said the request for the body camera footage was denied due to an ongoing investigation. What is the point of y'all introducing these body camera and you don't want to release it until you've edited it up and all that other stuff?
And of course, they have him on administrative leave.
Yeah. She
wasn't able to put a restraining order on the baby father because she was at the hospital. So they end up releasing him. She's like, well, how the fuck can I, do that if I'm at the hospital?
Yeah.
And the police department has not said anything. They didn't even come to the hospital.
Well, they're trying to stay away from this as much as possible. They're trying to stay away from this as far as possible. It says Moore said he told there was also a video of the incident from a nearby gas station. The Indianola Police Department confirmed that the officer involved in shooting is named Greg Capers, but did not provide any additional details on the shooting, telling CNN the police chief was unavailable. He was unavailable, apparently. CNN
he didn't have to deal with that smoke. That's why he's unavailable.
CNN reached out to Capers for comment, but did not immediately hear back. On Monday evening, the board of aldermen voted to place Capers on paid administrative leave while the shooting was investigated, according to the family attorney. In a weekend statement, the MBI said it is currently assessing the critical incident and gathering evidence, and would turn over its findings to the state attorney general's office after the investigation is complete. I mean, you shot a kid.
She's gonna get a lawsuit payment. Sure.
They're not gonna send him to jail, but they'll pay her off, and
he'll resign.
And we've been talking about
go
this
to another police department.
And we're gonna talk about that later. How Florida is asking for officers who get into these situations to come down there if they lose their job. So Florida, people they trying to paint Florida as the boogeyman state at this point.
Brindley Claw said Mississippi is still in 1985.
He's still in 1985. But we've been talking about this since we've been doing these videos and stuff. We've been talking about the idea of people accepting the money over what we would consider real justice. Instead of asking for real justice, you'll take the payments before you don't get anything.
Well, I'm sure they want real justice in the money.
I think all of them do, but at this point,
they'll settle.
Yeah, you have to, because if you don't, you're not gonna get justice, and you're not gonna get no type of compensation for all the stuff that happened.
True.
So if you want those people that really stand on it, and we ain't want no money, we only want somebody in jail, you can walk away with nothing at that point. All right, let me show. Black Lives Matter is headed. They told us to stop talking about Black Lives Matter too. That's funny. And now we got all this other stuff that happened with Black Lives
Regina
Matter.
said it would be nice to go. Okay, a 2-week camping trip though. It's been nice being away from the city. Crackheads and meth heads, not crackheads.
No, there's new crackheads now too. Black Lives Matter.
Take the money and run. You can't get justice from an unjust system. True.
Yeah, that's true. Black Lives Matter is headed for insolvency after plunging $8.5 million into the red, but founder Patrice Cullors' brother was still paid $1.6 million for security services in 2022, while sister of board members earned $1.1 million for consulting. I think that was 2 weeks ago we talked about, was that 2 weeks ago or last week? We talked about Black Lives Matter and then being in the courtroom over who controls it.
It seemed like we've been talking about them every damn week, to be honest with you.
We haven't talked about Black Lives Matter until the episode for like months.
Okay.
But one thing we didn't
memory.
One thing we didn't mention in the episode back then with Black Lives Matter is that Black Lives Matter, they're in court over who control it. The new controller, I forgot his name of Black Lives Matter because the three women stepped down. The woman in the video with them when they were sitting in front of the mansion and they were saying how their boots in the ground, she's the one who they turned on her. Colors in them. So there's like we said in that video, we think there's some infighting going on.
Over the money?
It's over the money because we see this right here. It's over the money. Now, when I saw this, I thought obviously there was some money laundering going
Patrice
on.
used to go to jail. Scam. It was all a scam.
It was all a scam. Obviously, there was some money laundering going on. And how we know this is that before we even get deeper into this article, it says only 33% of Black Lives Matter's 90 million in donations help charitable foundations. So where the hell was the money going? They couldn't buy enough mansions to spend that money. We know they got one and they bought the mansion in Canada. They got the one in California. We know she got a couple properties, but that's not enough to cover for $60 million.
True.
Now I have a belief that they was using this money to funnel into the Democratic Party for the elections.
I agree with you.
Now remember, in that 2020 when George Floyd protest was going on, all that money was being given to Black Lives Matter. There was people that were saying that the link to the website was leading you to the Democratic Party donation page. So I believe that it's being funneled. And we all know who really started Black Lives Matter.
Tell us who.
Tiny Hat, we can't even say his name because
the three chicks ran off with the bag.
I don't think they did. I think they were just the face.
Not step down. Brinley Floyd, that money went to Ukraine.
That too. Some of it at least. Fuck donations.
Soros must have ended the bag.
Yeah, I think they're trying to move on to
money
another
train.
I think they have a new project they have coming up soon. I think Black Lives Matter, its name been muddied a little too much.
Yes, it was.
I think the name of Black Lives Matter has been sullied so much that they can't use it for anything else. If something else happens where police and some black dude gets killed by police or something, they can't use Black Lives Matter as the front to get the money.
The money went to the transcripters on the Reparatiions.
All right, so it says Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, a nonprofit that grew out of the protest movement, is hemorrhaging cash. Financial records show the group ran an 8.5 million deficit and saw the value of its investment accounts drop by nearly 10 million, with fundraising down 88% year on year. Despite the financial woes, the organization still paid relatives of the founder of the board members hundreds of thousands of dollars for its services. Black Lives Matter's national organization is at risk of going bankrupt after its finances plunged 8.5 million into the red last year. Sorry, hold on.
Black Lives Matter was created to prove that Black lives will never matter. Black Lives Matter is like a strip club with a Superman cape on, lap dances for justice, money.
Well, remember at the protest what they were doing? They were going out there twerking and all this other stuff. How is that protest to go in front of police officers and give them a strip show? It was gay dudes, it was women. It was like, what are y'all doing?
They did it all for the paper.
Culler's brother, Paul Cullers, set up two companies which were paid $1.6 million providing professional security services for Black Lives Matter in 2022. I guess it's why she came out saying she felt threatened and her life was threatened because she wanted to make a reason why they started this security company with her brother. Paul Cullers was also one of the Black Lives Matter's only two paid employees during the year, collecting a $126,000 salary as head of security on top of his consulting fees. He is best known as a graffiti artist with no background in security. Patrice Cullers defended hiring him, saying registered security firms which hired former police officers who could not be trusted, given the movement's opposition to police brutality. For the previous year, 2021 tax filing, we already know about the taxes and stuff that came out, free beacon and all that stuff, put that stuff out. Let's jump to this right here. It's something I didn't know. This recently came out. Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Cullers is quietly dumped for Warner Brothers after her multi-platform TV deal to create original shows telling Black stories, produced zero content after 2 years.
And that was not hard to do at all, to produce that content.
That was
an easy job to do.
Matter of fact, that was the reason why they said they bought the mansion, was to do content. Remember they're trying to turn the mansion into a content house so all their content creators could go around and Go ahead.
Honorable Sienna, Black Lives Matter taught us if you don't put a black man in leadership, people will give you a lot of money, nothing more.
Yeah, some real. So, let me give her some gunshot for
That was
some
good.
bad. That was real. Because it's a lot of these black people begging for money for the organizations, but I gotta say that there has to be a little bit of black men's fault too. If you haven't constantly showed yourself to step up and do things in the correct way, people will use that as a reason to not give it to you later on. And also the imagery and all that stuff we talked about earlier. It is what it is.
True.
But a lot of that money came. Let's not act like all of it donated a year. But so Patrice deal with Warner Brothers in 2020, but it ended in October 2022. A source said the deal unfortunately did not result in any produced shows. Cuz had claimed that she was working on various projects, including 2 documentaries. Black Lives Matter co-founder, we just read that. The deal, unfortunately, Colors claimed in January 2022 that she was working on a documentary about how reparations were similar to the idea of land back, where Native Americans got back their land, and other about black social mobility. What?
Eastwood, 16 minutes of counting.
Oh, he done.
He did count from the time he started. With Black Lives Matter.
Well, we almost done now. I want to show this last clip since we're going to move forward with this. We're going to show this last clip here. Hold on, y'all. Somebody was speaking on. He had an interview with on Roland Martin with the co-founder of Patrice Colors. I can't remember. I'm being honest. I can't remember if this interview was recent or if this was a couple last year. What? Let's click on it. Yeah, you did. You did smash. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Oh, sorry. All right. Let me just show this. But he's a content creator as well. Torrin Walker. It said, for my appearance last night, so this is recent. This is May 24th. On Roland Martin's questioning Melania Abdullah. This is the woman who's now trying to run Black Lives Matter, who said that she was cut out by Patrice Colors and that other guy. I can't remember his name, the money man. This is the interview he did.
Deep into this now. Ever since Ferguson started, there were brothers like Darren Seals and people who were on the ground who would call out some of these things and he got silenced. There were people who were close to the people who were connected to the ground who talked about these issues and they either got silenced or they either got marginalized or pushed completely out the way. Nobody said anything. And all of a sudden, after people in other cities have said they had these conversations as well, again, nobody said anything. Nobody had anything to say until all of a sudden the story came out about $90 million and nobody said anything about, and people saw houses and mansions getting built. So my question is, what's happening now to make people so upset about the leadership that people weren't listening to 9 years ago? And why is what's happening today?
Sure. So we're actually stepping into 10 years. Black Lives Matter was birthed July 13th, 2013, which is the day that George Zimmerman was acquitted in the murder of Trayvon Martin. So we've been doing this work. People like me who've been on the ground since day one, who were people who were in Ferguson, who were people who were in,
in Ferguson. It's funny she said it was in Ferguson because that's where the old buddy called them plants, how they don't deserve to be respected, and he ended up dead in the car, burnt on fire. So it is what it is. Let's move forward since these people, these mugs in the comments trying to revolt against, throwing a coup against us. All right,
Lord mercy.
All right, let me just do this right quick. So now we're gonna talk about another scam before we get to the nitty gritty that y'all want to get to. Diagnosed with painful nerve condition, Sean King asked for help paying for medical procedures. Let me say this.
Why can't his wife, family members give him money? I know he got some money in the bank somewhere.
Let me say this. Out of all the people to ask for money from
his
the public,
white ass, how
do you still have the gall to ask when you have the name that you have? You have been called a scammer for the last 3-4 years. How dare you think you can just come out and say, can I get some money that I might be scamming you for a medical procedure? Hey, you gotta be, the dude is brave with it, man. Let me show you some of the stuff he said. Journalist and social activist Sean King said in a new social media post that he's been diagnosed with
Did the medical condition come from powder?
has been diagnosed with a painful nerve condition that's left him unable to do some of the most basic actions without experiencing excruciating agony. Because he said his insurance won't cover the recommended treatment, the 43-year-old reaches out to his more than 3 million followers on social media in an appeal to help him pay for the medical procedures. Now, how much money has he raised the last couple of years?
I have no clue.
And we know the money didn't go the way he said it was going, whether it be the merch and all the other stuff he was supposed to have been doing. So what the hell you do with the money? King said in an Instagram post that he is suffering from a condition called, I'm not even going to try to say it, which he called the worst pain I've ever experienced in my adult life. He said it was a result of lingering spinal injury he said he sustained more than 2 decades ago. The old scams don't work. So Black Lives Matter gone. Sean King image is tarnished forever. What's the other guy's name? The one who used to wear the blue, the blue vest.
The Planet of the Apes character.
Yeah, they tried to say that they were copying him in Planet of the Apes. What's the damn character name? Oh, he's not a character.
They gonna tell you who it is.
the blue vest guy. All of them have been pretty much burned down and names destroyed. You got it? I forgot his name. He was on BET. He was all over the TV. They would invite him to all these functions and stuff. Now they throw him to the wall. Throw him away. Huh?
D-Ray.
Yeah, D-Ray. That's his name. We're going to one more scammer. Got one more scammer we're going to talk about.
Keeper said Griffer.
That too. Shaquille O'Neal served papers for FTX lawsuit.
Somebody poked that booty.
Shaquille O'Neal served papers for FTX lawsuit on the job after months of evasion. So remember FTX? Go ahead.
Arnold Bassian, according to the little chart he released, he rerouted all the money to POC organizations. He better get them for the money.
Yeah, you better go to them.
People of color.
You better go get that money back from them then.
How the lower spine hurts.
He just created some shit, ain't he? He just said some shit. He tried to sound like he knew what he was talking about. But remember the guy who started the bank, FTX Bank, which is Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy who took people for billions of dollars, and now he's trying to get away with it, saying that he was sabotaged because of anti-Semitism. When Shaq was one of the people that was an investor in that bank, in cryptocurrency bank, and he's one of the people that were the branding faces of it. So the same people that are suing him, Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX Bank employees and all that stuff, they're suing Shaquille O'Neal as well. So what's that called? What's those? Remember those online, what do they call it? The tokens they were selling, where it was just pictures basically. Yeah, cryptocurrency and your what do they call it? NFTs. That cryptocurrency NFT stuff that they was pushing, all this came crashing down on them now. All that grifting and scamming. Let's move on to another scam group.
Non-fundable token?
Yeah, non-fungible tokens and FTX. Or NFTs, I'm sorry. Buckingham Palace rejects calls to return remains of stolen prints to Ethiopia. Was it the Ethiopians that constantly brag about not ever being having to deal with colonialism? Oh, what up? What up? What country was it that constantly brag about not having to deal with colonialism? Isn't it the Ethiopians?
Or Eritrea, one of them.
One of them. So you saw this one, didn't you?
Yes, we read that yesterday.
Oh, yeah. So basically, this young prince in Ethiopia, after his father was defeated, they took him to England, where he lived for an extra 10 years. I think he died at the age of 18. He was kidnapped and taken away.
Mm-hmm.
His father's imperial palace was looted, and all Ethiopia had been asking is, "Can we get the remains back of the young prince?"
And then they said, "If you want it, come and get it."
No, they ain't what they said.
Pretty much, that's what they said.
No, kinda. Well, what they said was that they can't because where he's buried, it would disturb the other grave sites. Somalia, that's the ones who constantly brag about not being colonized. Yeah, Somalia, but this is Ethiopia. They said too, or they didn't have to deal with the was it the Italians?
Ethiopia, they dealt with the Italy,
Italy,
Italians.
Italians. Oh yeah. So they want his remains back, and they won't give it to him because they said it would disturb the grave sites of the people buried around him. He's buried in a royal square, I guess you would say. Other royals were buried there. Now, South Africa want their diamond back. They won't give it to him.
They told him they want to come and get it.
Nigeria want its artifacts back. They won't give it to him. Ghana.
I'm surprised they haven't scammed their way into getting it though. They can't get it because African Americans like no.
Are you talking about? No, I'm talking about other artifacts. They want.
Oh, the other artifacts. Okay.
You got Ghana. They won't give them theirs either. And there's another country. I think Rwanda or one of those. There's a princess remains. They want it back. At some point, how does Europe, really the West, we'll say the West, how do they continue to paint themselves as these benevolent people who are sorry for their past transgressions? So now we're going to help Africa and all these other countries, but we're not going to give you back what we took. Doesn't that kind of prove you can't ask for what's yours?
True.
You kind of got to go take it. Like
that's the type of people they are.
That's what I'm talking about. As much as they play this bullshit game in the public, they still won't give you what's yours.
They like war.
They're warlike people. All right, let's move on. Congressional candidate demands the government pay $2.8 million to Black Americans in reparations. The job of Reconstruction was never finished. And this is Marcel Dixon, Greg Marcel Dixon, the congressional candidate in South Carolina's 6th Congressional District, is calling for President Joe Biden to issue reparations in the form of $2.8 million in cash bonds to qualify Black Americans. Hold on. Ain't Brilliant one that said he get tired of us talking about reparations?
Yeah.
And now he in there calling for us to talk about reparations, ain't he?
No, he was trying to be funny. He's being sarcastic. He said the next topic gonna be reparations.
Oh,
Eastwood don't fuck with Black Lives Matter. He said, "Nigga, my topic up next, reparations."
okay, my bad. All right. And cash bonds to qualify Black Americans and ancestries that trace back to people who were held in slavery up into the Civil War. Wait, what's going on? What you doing? Oh. Dude looks well, he's gay, yeah. Nah, man, we get tired of that hold on. Eastwood, we haven't talked about Black Lives Matter before last week in like months.
I think this is the third week in a row we talked about it.
No,
but I ain't mad at you.
No, I'm saying before we talked about it, then it had been months. Look at Travis Pants. Sassy on your ass.
See, I ain't calling you sassy no more. I'm gonna start calling you Shashan. Shashay. I'm gonna start calling you Shashay now. I ain't calling you sassy no more.
The country owes reparations to Black Americans if this country has done to you what it had done to Black Americans. I will be right there fighting for you to get what you are owed as well, he told Fox News in the interview published on Wednesday, May 23rd. Dixon believes that the federal reparations in the form of $2.8 million in cash bonds are owed to Americans who identify as Black and can trace their ancestry to people enslaved in the U.S. before the Civil War. What? All these politicians should give up their salary. Well, that's what was supposed to happen if they didn't do the debt ceiling raise. They were gonna lose their own paychecks. So they made sure they got it. They made sure they get it done when it's time for them to lose their money. Dixon, who was running for a long shot primary challenger in South Carolina to unseat longtime incumbent U.S. Representative James Clyburn, is advocating for reparations mainly because of his family's slave history. Growing up, Dixon was raised in the home of his great-grandmother, Justine Brown, who was raised by formerly enslaved ancestors, according to the campaign and shared on Twitter. Dixon claimed his great-grandmother's grandfather was born enslaved in South Carolina in 1838 and died in 1930. So he's still out here pushing reparations.
Look at that. 107, 106, 105, 101, 199.
That's not true. That's no what. Did we? Maybe I'm tripping. I don't think we did. Not the stats. he brought out the damn receipts on me. Then he just trying to expose me in the chat. I don't believe we talked about Black Lives Matter in episode 100, 101, 102, and all that stuff. Do you remember? Do you remember?
I can't recount those episodes total, but I know it's been a couple times.
Of course, we talked about it sometimes. I mean, damn. Descendant slaves hits Biden's lack of action on reparations. All we get is fish fries and feel good dances. So this is him again when he went into it. even more. This is the video. I'm going to play a little bit of it. No, I can't. Never mind. Hold on. No, I'm not on Fox. Nope. I'm gonna play this right quick. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. Let this load. Now this right here was a Pan-African organization that was speaking on reparations, and they obviously are against it being a lineage based. So I'm gonna let y'all hear what they had to say.
The lineage advocates, whom I call La, I could call another, but anyway, sound eerily like the slave catchers during enslavement who roamed the back roads of the South and stopped enslaved people from reaching their destinations unless they could produce papers written by their enslavers proving that their travel was legitimate. They also echo the infamous pass laws that were part of South Africa's way of controlling how Black folk move from one neighborhood to another. Thirdly, not only are the lineage folk advocating white legal documentation to make our people eligible for reparations, but they are also pathologically anti-Pan-African.
So you hear what he had to say? Hold on. All right, let me play the second one. Hold on.
It's a debt owed for the free labor. As long as you can trace your lineage to the 1870 census, you're entitled to the claim. Why should other people be included on a claim they're not entitled to? It's like filing an insurance claim for an accident and your cousin trying to get in on the claim and he wasn't in the car. So again, why should people be included that weren't here?
You know, I don't want to even respond to that because I think, with all due respect, it's an uninformed question. It's a question that, you could spend 1 hour on that, question that is uninformed. So I'll let somebody else do that.
So he didn't want to answer the question because he didn't have an answer. He didn't have a good answer for it, so he didn't want to touch it. And the guy who asked the question, I got his page up here too. He's the one who asked the question. Hold on, let me show this.
Pat Queen Mother Moore, the mother of the movement, the modern reparations movement.
No, they're not trying to attack her. They're trying to take her away from what her philosophies were all about, and they're trying to pigeonhole it into something else to justify what they're doing and saying. That's what it is.
So they're using her actual words. That's the problem. But anyway, they're against it. As always, they're against the lineage-based situation. What do you think of the constant arguments over who should get it?
Based on lineage. There's no doubt about it.
All right, hold on. The constant arguments over who should get it when it should be obvious at this point. Like, why are we still having this conversation? Now, he's the one who asked the question. I'm not going to show it. He got a whole long thread where he goes through and asks them questions about why they're against the lineage base and why they want to include everyone, and they never really gave him a good answer.
Brilliantly flawed. With all these biracial babies, how do you go about fighting who gets what in regards to reparations?
Well, they already gave their version of a blueprint where you have to mark down
one
black.
drop of blood.
Yeah.
Well, no, you have to have a 100%. Too many people with dual identity speaking on reparations, mixed ethnicity, biracial, hotep, exile, Indians. Too many. Shaking my head. Exile, Indians.
It's a lot of, and then you got people that want different names. It's a lot of confusion going on.
Brandon weak ass excuses for a black man.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. It is the point. The pain is forever. Okay. I'm gonna play this right here, and what this Caucasian woman had to say about slavery. This is in 2023. This is what she believed. This is forever, obviously.
Country is more divided now than it was when Martin Luther King marched when I was a kid. The Civil War was something that no one could do anything about because the whites, quote unquote, whites from the South are not the only ones that had slaves. Slaves are all over the world. Slaves still exist today.
You think there's a direct effect from slavery to how Black Americans are able to live today?
No, I don't. They have a chance to learn. They live in the best country in the world. If they open their eyes and listen, instead of just focusing on their little area and people that they hang out with, they would learn a lot.
But from what you said, it sounds like you were born before the civil rights movement.
Oh, yeah.
So Black people couldn't buy houses in your lifetime when you were maybe a baby.
I'm well aware of that.
You were 5. So you don't think there's any downstream effect?
I felt depressed at that time.
Yeah.
But that's what Martin was trying to correct. Right now, I see so many people living off the government handout.
I'm pretty sure welfare use per capita is higher in red states than blue states.
Yes, but there's so many people living off of the government handouts. And that is not that much farther away from slavery. They were a slave. They were given housing, food, clothing, medical care. The people asked them to work. Yes, there were landowners that were violent and mean to some of them, but there were others that were humanistic.
Forever. Forever. You'll never get away.
Why should you? She's not going to have any sympathy for you.
And this is her kingdom. She should.
Born enemies
should never think that they're going to ever view themselves as the villain, obviously. Let me go to the full screen again.
They would hate us for us to exclude them from our lives. It's hilarious.
All right, sorry, y'all. Hold on. Let me close some of these down.
She probably a retired educator too. No doubt about it.
Would not be surprised if she was a teacher. Would not be surprised. All right. Run, N-word, run. McCurtain County cop charged for pointing gun. While state officials continue to prioritize attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, racist law enforcement officials in McCurtain County continue to cause racial terrorism. So let me just get into this. An officer you saw this right here, didn't you? With a cop, he was had a guy pulled over, and he told him to run.
Yeah.
Nigga, run.
I read some of it.
What do you think of what you read?
You shouldn't have used the term "run, nigga, run."
Well, he was pulled over for something.
That doesn't give him the right to say those words to him.
I'm not saying you're supposed to say that. I'm saying at this point, if you have an interaction with a police officer, shouldn't you expect it to go negative?
Depending on where you're at.
It says an officer in Haworth Police Department in McCurtain County, Oklahoma, was arrested on charge with a felony for pointing a firearm at a black man and demanding he run, nigga, run. Neil Pollard faces one count of felonious pointing a firearm after being arrested by the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation on May 17. Court documents show, first reported by the McCurtain News, the incident occurred on April 24th. While off duty, Pollard reportedly aimed his gun at a black Alfred Meadows employee in McCurtain County and demanded he run for his life. Run, nigga, run. You better run, boy, Pollard allegedly said. The town of Oklahoma is on the southeastern edge of the state, yada, yada, yada. Hold on. News of the incident comes just after a month after McCurtain County officials faced calls to resign after a secret recording of McCurtain reporters was made public. The recording depicted a sheriff, a deputy, and county commissioner, and a jail trust administrator discussing wanting to kill a McCurtain journalist and their desire to lynch black people. Like, this is who your police officers are. So,
you remember the Tennessee guy said he wanted to get reparations on that? Can we get reparations on that agenda?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. There was another guy said he wanted to bring lynching back as far as hangings.
Yeah.
So these are your police officers. These are people that's getting. Now, do you believe that it's possible the way you fix this is by introducing black people to go into the police force?
Oh, so they can get a Megan? So they can get a white, so they can get a Megan?
I mean, you got to deal with this type of stuff if you don't put them in there. It's what it is. Africa is getting. Sorry, hold on. Africa is getting renewed attention from Washington, and some African states are courting African Americans. Try to get pissed when they're trying to court African Americans.
I'm not pissed. If Black Americans want to go to Africa,
let me show you what they
that's
got.
their choice.
See what they're saying. Recent allegations by U.S. Ambassador of South Africa that the African nation gave ammunition and weapons to Russia in December 2022, and Russia's war on Ukraine illustrate the complexity of U.S.-African relations. Even as South Africa investigates those claims, the Biden administration is trying to strengthen ties with the African Union, a continental member organization, and 49 of Africa's 54 countries, including South Africa, on geopolitical and commercial issues. The only African country the U.S. is not courting are four that were suspended from the African Union, and Eritrea, a country which the United States doesn't have a formal relationship. The U.S. making this grand African play as it competes with China to influence the continent's future. And while this particular U.S.-China contest is relatively new, U.S. involvement in Africa is not. They're talking about decolonization, renewed U.S. interest. In the 21st century, the U.S. began to turn its attention back to Africa as a way of pushing its strategic interest in strengthening commercial and diplomatic ties with African countries. That's why you see all these Black American celebrities headed to Ghana, in particular, Nigeria. Ludacris, I've seen him over there. Chance the Rapper, a couple others. They're constantly in Africa. There's a new rapper named Simba.
Mills.
Huh?
Meek Mills.
Yeah, Simba. He went over there, the rapper. So a lot of rappers and artists are going to certain countries in Africa, particularly Ghana, probably the most popular one.
West Africa.
Well, yeah, you say West Africa, but they're also they're getting invited there. So we said, is it possible that both America and Africa are using this as influence to build? So you got African countries that want to become a destination for tourists, and you got America who wants more influence than China would gain. So who's the middle person in all this that's being used as the pawn?
Black Americans.
Black Americans. Oh yeah. So let me just jump to the next one. All right, this next one. I don't know if this is two separate stories or if it's all the same one. But it said Jamaican business owner blasted for saying Black American travelers are nothing but a problem. A Jamaican business owner who rents out private cottages for stay is facing backlash for proudly disinviting Black American travelers to her property because of all the problems they bring. A TikTok user by the name of the Barefoot Island Lady want to promote a community of private cottages available to rent or stay during the visit. Video shows the 41-year-old Jamaican caring for her business name, Rustic Mountain Living, throwing events for her guests and even performing comedy skits. Now I'm going to play the video. Hold on. I'm going to play the video that she put on TikTok. It got some people a little angry. Hold on, y'all. Okay. All right, here we go. Now, I haven't watched this. So it's going to be
Jamaican people stay here, I have white people stay here, I have Spanish people stay here, and I have Black Americans stay here. I'm not saying not all Black Americans are bad, but the ones that came to my place have been nothing but problem. Only two good ones came here, all of them. Fight late at night, not with me, with each other. They're disrespectful, they're entitled, they're unappreciative. And it is that way because America has spoiled them and give them so much free shit. Where they think they could come to Jamaica and get the same free shit out here and be nasty about it. I'm not saying all of you are like that, but because of that, I'm not risking my.
I agree with Regina. She's trying to exploit the Black Americans to drum up more business for that shack. Nothing to do, nothing to see here. That's exactly what our bum ass is trying to do.
Oh,
raggedy ass shack. You better be glad we came there, nigga. We really don't even fucking go to Jamaica.
Which is funny because Black Americans account for a lot of the tourism in Caribbean countries. We account for a big chunk.
We could definitely go somewhere else since we so fucking spoiled.
Now, I was seeing this and I thought, is it possible the standard?
No, are we spoiled or are you jealous?
No, I'm saying the standard is different. The expectations for customer service and stuff may just be different in America than it is in another country.
And we're going to tell you about the shit.
My health and my happiness for people. No short-term stay. No short-term stay. It's not gonna happen here. I'd rather eat salt and banana and let goats and cows live into my houses than I have people come here and stress me. I will not hate my business because of customers. A lot of business people are miserable because of some kind of customer. Not this place. I don't want my place is drama-free.
So that was the first video, and then she had a response.
Hey, and I'm getting so much bad comments about this video. Also, you guys wanna attack me. I get it. Some people message me, I need to apologize. I get it. So here I am. I'm not sorry.
Then she playing Black American music in the background, taunting.
Not sorry. I could post that video 100 times. I will post it. You can't bully somebody into what you want them to say. You can't bully somebody. It's freedom of speech. I could say how I feel. I'm entitled to my free speech.
Suck your
There's so
mother.
much people right now.
Go suck your mother.
I post that video.
Look, I heard she didn't have washcloths in the bathroom. Allegedly.
Post that video because the ones that are lashing out on my video, you're the one I don't want here. I post that video to weed out the bad seeds. So you watch that video, and when you comment on it, that come in here, thank you. I don't want to hear the people that are offended by my video. Thank you for don't want to come here. My peace is more important than your freaking opinion. Okay? Have peace. Peace and quiet. I don't need your money that much that I need to stress myself out.
Because I don't need your money that much, so you do need. So that's pretty much what happened. What you think? You think this is just another marketing campaign?
It's a marketing campaign to get more traction to her raggedy ass shack.
Right.
That's what it's for. And we're not falling for the bait.
Now, another thing that happened with this situation is, niggas started investigating to see who she is. And a white woman exposed her. A white woman exposed her and some of the things she said. So this white girl right here has DMs back and forth with her, or text messages back and forth with her that she put up. As you can see here, she says, racist, LOL, you can't offend me. You can say whatever you feel around me. This is her, the Jamaican woman, speaking to the white woman. The white woman says, well, all I have to say is I love dark skin. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. So don't bring sand to the beach. Come get yourself a black boyfriend. Just don't ruggle down my bed. Then she said, oh, I will. Haha, that's da here, but they suck because they are American blacks. Just a little wham bam wouldn't hurt. Oh my God, yes, American black sucks. And then she says, hold on. Now, her and the white woman went back and forth over something that shouldn't have been probably that important, but this right here, she said, oh my God, yes, American black sucks, really bad too. I even tried to treat white guys. Since I can remember, they are sweet or just boring. And she said it's very true. So basically, the white woman exposed her as a coon. Now, I'm going to say this. I think she said that because she was talking to a white woman.
Yeah. Hold on. Shout out to KD.
What up?
That cottage reminds me of Martin episode when Martin and Pam battled that big rat. That ain't no damn puppy.
That ain't no damn puppy. Yeah, so I think she was saying that because she was talking to a white woman. Now, those messages kind of make her look kind of bad. So she said, what you think about those messages?
It always exposes them for what their preference is.
You said it's really her preference, or did she say that because she was talking to a white woman?
That's her preference.
What make you think? Well, she is Jamaican. No offense.
Chilligan Island. She like laying with people with bad DNA.
All right, let's move on to the next thing.
Oh man.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Because apparently this is still a thing. Speaking of immigrants, Chicago plan to house immigrants in school draws hundreds for heated with town hall. We've been talking about this. Now, we've been talking about this for at least 3 weeks. The Chicago situation where they want to put immigrants into the local school. They want to put immigrants in the local school, and the locals are against it. We've been talking about this for at least a month.
True.
In Chicago. So now video has came out. I'm gonna show these clips that they got right here. Hold on, let me go back right quick. want to make sure you can hear what they're saying. All right.
Robin Cheryl, the meeting drawing hundreds of residents who were required to show ID to prove they live nearby. Dozens of neighbors signed up to speak, and they did not hold back. On the Northwest Side, standing room only and emotions running high.
We love people, but this is an absolute slap in the face to those who come here legally.
Opposition and support for the city's latest plan for migrants.
This is another chapter in Chicago's long history of immigration, whether it was the Italians, the Poles, whether
All right, stop it, folks. Stop it. This meeting at Wilbur Wright College in Dunning comes as the city plans to use the school as a summer respite center starting as early as this weekend to alleviate the crush of migrants overrunning police stations.
Why don't we put them in Lincoln Park? Why don't we put them on the North Shore? What they say, hey, let's help out, let's help out.
We have space, and we are a community college. We always talk about putting the community in community college.
So now these are the white people that's going back and forth about it. Now I'm about to show the Negroes who are speaking against this. Before we get to the Negroes, hold on, let me go back to this. I'm going to show that this is something that's going on around the country, where a lot of black people are starting to get into the immigration debate more heavily. All right. Atlanta is a part of it now. Atlanta gets $7 million for a migrant surge.
City.
Huh?
It's Eastwood.
The city of Atlanta has secured $7 million that the mayor says will use to offset the financial impact of migrants trying to relocate here.
So Eastwood, you letting this go on in your city?
So the $7 million they got, that's in Atlanta. Now New York faces restraining order from town refusing to accept buses of migrants, utter lack of leadership. Small towns, suburbs push back on Mayor Eric Adams as buses of migrants arrive. So Texas is busing the migrants to New York, and then Mayor Eric Adams is busing them somewhere else. And that place is trying to get a restraining order to stop them from doing that.
They're trying to get a restraining order to stop them from busing him?
Yeah. Let me see. It says, as a migrant crisis continues to affect New York City, Mayor Eric Adams is now planning to move migrants into the suburbs of upstate New York. One local official joined Fox and Friends Tuesday to discuss his outrage with the decision and detailed the town of Salinas plan to file a restraining order to prevent migrants from being bused to hotels there. Now, Mayor Eric Adams was saying how they accept migrants. Then in a couple of days, he flipped and wanted them out. Said they're affecting the economy. Now he's trying to send them to another place, and they're trying to put a restraining order against them. These people just all over the place.
Oh, God.
What do you think about this flip-flop? Do you see it coming?
Who?
Ain't he supposed to be more of a, what do they call it,
Mayor Adams?
Yeah.
He's law and order.
He's supposed to be a moderate Democrat.
If he's law and order, then he's a moderate Democrat.
Well, they don't like it. Another thing that's going on when it comes to the immigration situation is the Asians. One thing I didn't know that Asians were using the Mexican-Texas border to get into the country.
Everybody follows a drinking gore.
I didn't know they were using that. I thought the Cubans and all them, the Haitians were doing that.
Without visas, taking irregular overland routes across Latin America.
Latin America is the Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
Because they see America as it's the promised land.
It's funny because I saw someone made a joke. They said the buses from Texas to New York is the Underground Bus Railroad. They busting them.
Over the course of 3 weeks, Reuters witnessed hundreds of Chinese nationals along an isolated border stretch in southeastern Texas. Reuters interviewed more than 24 of them. All of those interviewed said they got the idea to take the land route on social media and drew on influencers, private groups, and comments to plan their trips.
The people here, the police here, I think they are very kind, and that's the America in my head.
A growing number of Chinese.
So now, some people said you can call this ain't normal for Chinese. They normally just fly in. So is it possible these are some sleepers? They're trying to get into the country. We know what's
That's
going
what
on.
I'm saying.
We know what's going on with Biden and all the other stuff. I mean,
They don't have to sneak into the country. They can come
they
here.
can just come into the country. So why are they trying to sneak in? I wonder. You got to be careful. Speaking of China, China will have access to Ghana's mineral revenue, electricity sales, in default of 4 loans. The International Monetary Fund has revealed details about how Ghana's 4 collateralized loans for China has been exposed the country to the possibility of losing parts of its mineral resources revenue in addition to electricity sales in the future. For Ghana, Chinese loans has been a reliable funding source for major projects since the early 2000s. In 2 decades, Accra has racked up close to $5 billion from at least 41 Chinese loans.
Kiefer, they need to close the damn border.
Build a wall.
People aiding them online need to be arrested.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part. They said how the Asian people are getting help from online organizations that are telling them the path to take, meeting spots, and all the other stuff. So they're being helped by people to get into the country, where to go, how to meet, where to meet there, and all the other stuff. So if they're doing it with the Chinese, I mean they're doing it with all of them, whether it be the Mexicans, the Cubans, the Haitians, the Guatemalans, hell, the Africans are using that as well. And that seems like a weird path to take. Seeing how you have to go across the water to South America, then up through Central America. That seems like a longer road. Same thing what happened with the Haitians, how they went through Central America rather than Florida.
Oh, rode up on a boat.
So China might be getting ready to get their payback from Ghana. After several years of nearly unbridled borrowing, Ghana is now debt strapped and wading through its worst economic crisis in a generation, with the current external debt portfolio exceeding 30 billion. Why is it when anybody tells them, "Hey, you guys are in severe debt to China," at some point they can ask you to pay them? Something bad can happen. Why they keep, when you say something like that, they say you being pessimistic or that they're not America. China isn't America. They're not like Americans. Like, they might be worse.
They're worse
as far as what they plan to do. I mean, you're giving them ports, airports, all type of shit. But anyway,
all that money Ghana made from the year return, these loan issues is shameful.
Oh yeah, all that tourist work and all that tourist money they got. All right, let me show. Hold on, y'all. Let me show this one. Now, there was a clip that was played. I want you to tell me, what do you think of this verse or this line in this song? You hear me? Tell me what you think about this line in this song.
Man, I rock Smith and Wesson. Hit that Glock to let them know that's just a demonstration. And my Glock don't pick and choose, it's even killing nations. Yeah, that's that fried rice. Whoever did, what's the name? Should have fried nice.
Now, in his rap song, he talked about killing his own people a lot. Him saying that his gun has no preference, it'll even do it to another race. Why is that demonized?
Listen, you got to be careful about what you rap about nowadays. There's no such thing as freedom of speech anymore. They are a protected class now.
They're the protected people. I'm just saying.
Keep their name out your mouth.
But he's going to get some backlash for that probably.
Yes, he's going to get backlash for that.
But he's not saying he's going after Asians. He said he...
So thank you for putting another...
Oh yeah, the rapper said he wants to shoot Asian people.
For adding that on to African American. Thank you for doing that to us, sir.
Hold on. Let me.
It would be a California Negro. They would say some shit like that.
Well, would it? Because the stuff we've seen about California, stuff we talked about at least, ain't what you think. Now this is Jamal Bowman. Shout out to the person who posted this, Cola. Jamal Bowman is promoting the reverse migration to the South for Black Americans.
Kiefer.
Or what?
Shitty rapper.
Well, yeah, the music isn't good. Yeah, I'm talking about the line. We listen to accused Black Korea.
Look at this, Honorable Sienna. I love that for this young talent. Let him express himself.
Yeah, let the young man express how he's feeling. His gun has no preference. That's all he's saying. All right, Jamal Bowman's promoting reverse migration to the South for Black Americans. This is huge. He's literally telling the FBA in his district in NYC to go back to the South and build up our numbers and build wealth. I'm all for it. Before we get into what he said, you are a proponent of the Back to the South, or a Back to the South movement for Black Americans, aren't you?
Yes. Well, hold on. It depends on how up in the country they are.
Well, he's in New York.
They got to stay where they at.
Well, let me show you what you got to say. Shit, here we go. Hold on. Let me just.
They've mingled with the tethers, so.
What do you mean mingled with the tethers?
They've mingled with the tethers.
What do they mean?
Half tethered, half. I don't know what they are.
Opportunity in the South right now to do big things in politics. And if there's any New Yorkers who are not happy with New York, consider relocating to the South, because the South got a lot happening and a lot of opportunity in terms of leveraging the Black vote and Black power to really do something big in the South. So,
yeah, especially in hip hop, especially in Atlanta. You're absolutely right, because now that Georgia will be an early state, one of the things that killed Mike
South Carolina. South Carolina is first.
But y'all been an early state though.
No, South Carolina first this year.
Well, no, South Carolina's first, but what I'm saying is Georgia has never been an early state, so they're going to be number 3. So now, all of the tenants, if you will, the power in South Carolina, with the Jim Clyburn, there's still room to still grow there, but they've already been in place. The strategy is Georgia's now an early state, and it's a battleground state for the very first time. So now younger voters, particularly from the hip hop, particularly from Generation X, Generation Z, Y, whatever else in the alphabet, now there's an opportunity where there can be more voice, particularly on the progressive side, because now it's an early state. So it's a lot of strategy.
Eastwood, MD, NC, entire culture shock. What's the culture shock from Maryland to NC, Brinley Flawed?
Oh, you say that.
What's the man's ethnicity? Because tailors are following African Americans to the South and changing the vibe.
Changing the vibe. Atlanta. Blaze. Brandon's all on the deal. Are you talking shit about Atlanta now? Our organization to release statement at the Juneteenth event banner spurs controversy.
Diversity, inclusion.
An event banner in downtown Greensville is sparking some controversy. The banner, created by a nonprofit organization hosting the Juneteenth event, reads, "An upstate celebration of freedom, unity, and love," showing an image of a white man and a white woman. This controversy started with one picture of the banner circulating on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram since Tuesday. The photo has spread with hundreds of posts, comments, and many more questions. "I'm appalled," said Greenville activist Bruce Wilson, "from fighting injustice together. I was saddened. I was angry." So now he came out with a apology, I guess you would call it. Oh, let me make sure I can. Is it in this one? I think I can find the apology in this one as well. Okay, here we go. The person who created these banners, he came out and said something in an apology. He said, "The founders of Juneteenth GVL event are addressing questions recently raised by some members of the community about banners promoting this event." What was going on?
Brandon said, "Home of the quiet farts." Latinx gets no play in Georgia because Honorable Tiana said it was just announced that Atlanta is the new hotspot for Latinx.
Oh yeah, they've been trying to push that for a while.
He's disputing her claim.
The national holiday commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. Juneteenth GVL said in a series of 50 banners have been set up around downtown Greenville for the event next month. The banners feature many ethnicities, including Black, Hispanic, and white. Some members of the community emailed concern and posted questions about the banners on social media. He says he and his co-founders want many ethnicities represented. The fact of putting these banners up and representing them the way that we wanted them represented was really a decision made by Juneteenth GVL. Hayes said, "It was approved by myself as well as my co-founders, and we feel like they bring the right type of messaging in unity, freedom, and love." Now he wound up taking the flag off of the ones with the white people, but he kept the ones up with the Hispanics.
He what now?
He kept the ones up with the Hispanics, but he took the ones down with the white people, the flag.
Oh. Well, because of people of color.
But people are still saying you didn't. We meant all of. Why would you have them in the campaign at all?
Okay, don't be upset if they don't include you in 4th of July.
And these are the people who run it. I've seen him before. Do you remember him? I remember seeing him somewhere.
Remember seeing him.
But yeah, this is the apology they put out. Juneteenth GVL would like to offer an apology to the community for the presence of non-Black faces being represented on 2 flags representing Juneteenth. We acknowledge this mistake having been made and will correct the error quickly. This error was an attempt of uniting all of Greenville and thereby a slight oversight of one individual's part that prevented us from fully embracing the rich potential and celebrating the depth of Black culture through the message of meaning of Juneteenth. And for that, we apologize to this, we apologize to you, the entire community. To foster solidarity and inclusivity, we will continue to work to make all communities better. We take full responsibility for this misstep in this regard and pledge to rectify the situation promptly and responsibly. Again, the flag in question will be removed as soon as possible. We deeply value the voice of our community. Juneteenth GVL has accomplished many commendable achievements, and we hope to work to continue to do so with your continued support. Whatever. How do you even create a campaign about Juneteenth and for whatever reason think you need to? But that's kind of the message they've been pushing the last 20, 30 years with the whole
Black and Brown.
Yeah, Black and Brown, Rainbow Coalition, everybody counting, Poor People's Party, all that other stuff.
BIPOC.
Yeah, so you have to include everybody and everything. Well, when it's Black people.
And this is the South, by the way. This is the South that's saying shit like this.
Damn. Not even safe there. Jesus Christ.
Shout out to the Craig Council.
What up?
More integration. We're Mystery Man. Oh, damn, there's more.
So what? Huh?
No, I say nothing.
All right. Let me just show this right quick. All right. This is a miscellaneous story we have to jump into right quick. Governor Walz issues first veto blocked bill setting minimum wage for Uber and Lyft drivers. Now, up here in Seattle, these Uber and Lyft prices are pretty high.
They've increased.
And here, I think this is in Minneapolis, they wanted to raise them there and have a minimum profit for the drivers and to protect them from being fired for what they would consider not being given a reason. Now, up here, the prices the prices they want to set at the minimum here are less than what they are here in Seattle when it's not a minimum. It's just what it is.
True.
I think that would, at first I thought the drivers would be against it because if you have a minimum, that means you can possibly take some off the top. If there's a minimum amount I can make, that means I have to work a certain amount of hours. I would have to do certain things and meet certain requirements. But the drivers seem to have been for it in Minneapolis. So what do you think about them wanting to put a minimum or even the prices in general of Uber and Lyft and them wanting to almost raise it? The states. Like, should Seattle have a minimum you have to pay? Because that would go on that would be forced to be paid by the riders.
I think it should stay as it is. It should be based on however it's based on now the criteria. I don't think it should be touched.
Almost like Amazon had a battle with Seattle when they wanted to raise the minimum wage. And Amazon
and they threatened to leave.
Yeah, they were threatening to leave. And I guess in certain areas it's not there, where in certain areas it is 15. So I don't know.
It's almost like they keep trying to run people out of business.
Run the big businesses out of the city. Because Uber threatened to leave too. All right. I'm not gonna play the sound. I just want to see what would you do if you on a plane
and somebody opened the door.
Somebody opened it. Y'all not gonna be able to hear this.
I would tell everybody to be calm, cool, and collected, and just hope we land. And whoever fucking opened that door, beat the shit out of them.
Listen,
that's what it should be.
When I get off this plane,
the person ain't getting arrested.
I don't care no cops. I don't care. I'm stealing off immediately when we get off this plane. This dude get his ass whooped, open this damn. Now, people were talking about, I thought that when you were on a plane in the sky, you couldn't open the doors. The pressure wouldn't allow you. They said you can't open the doors, but he opened them. Now, they said that he was only 700 feet in the air. And, they usually fly around 30-something thousand. but this is only 700 feet, and he was able to open the door. You know, in the movies, when they show people open the door, they show them getting sucked out the window and stuff.
This is a crazy situation. If anybody open a door while you're on the plane with them, when you land, beat the shit out of them.
All right. Let me show this last little slide I got. NAACP issues travel advisory for Florida. What happened? I can't see what's called.
I have severe fear of flying, so I definitely attack the person once. Beat down.
Yeah, the hands getting put on him. Hands and foot, honestly. It says NAACP issues travel advisory for Florida over DeSantis' aggressive attempts to erase Black history. So NAACP came out and said they are asking for Black Americans to not go to Florida.
Why?
For their safety, apparently.
What's the safety?
Because DeSantis in Florida is so dangerous now.
How's it so dangerous?
Let's see what they had to say. Hold on.
Is it any more dangerous than any other part of the country?
Probably not.
Okay.
The Civil Rights Organization has warned that the state is openly hostile towards African Americans, people of color, and LGBTQ plus individuals.
They've allowed themselves to be put in this
I'm about to say that.
pot, this gumbo. That's what it is.
Black Americans are forever now, and this country is going to be linked to LGBTQ, the alphabet stuff, forever.
And the
brown.
And the browns, the yellows.
Yeah, the Asian. Forever going, people of color. So it's an NAACP on Saturday issued a travel advisory for Florida over Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' aggressive attempt to erase Black history and to restrict diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the state schools and organizations, said it in a statement. Florida is openly hostile towards African Americans, people of color, LGBT plus individuals, NAACP said. Before traveling to Florida, please understand that the state of Florida devalues and marginalizes the contributions of and the challenges faced by African Americans and other communities of color. It seems like, bless you, it seems like they more so don't want you to go to Florida so that you can lower their tourist number, the money they're making off tourism. Because during the pandemic, one of the main places people were going was Florida.
Or voting.
Yeah, that too. They don't want you moving there.
They don't want you moving there, period. They don't want your voting to go there. Maybe your mindset will be changed.
Oh, yeah. When Florida tell you, a lot of the Texas, Florida, those type of places will tell you, you can move here, but don't bring your politics. The advisory comes after the DeSantis administration in January blocked the advanced placement course in African-American studies. But y'all ain't going to point out that he passed the one for Asians? But it goes against the whole anti-people of color thing, huh? Okay. From being offered in Florida high schools, in a letter to the college board rejecting the course, we know. NAACP President and CEO Derek Johnson said in a statement that failing to teach an accurate representation of the horrors and inequalities of Black Americans have faced and continue to face is a disservice to students and a dereliction of duty to all. Under DeSantis, the state of Florida has become hostile to Black Americans in direct conflict with the democratic ideals that our union was founded upon. I guess supposed to be scared of Ron. Now they was promoting Ron DeSantis a few months ago to go against Trump. Remember that? They were promoting Ron DeSantis, the Democratic Party, the Democratic outlets, the liberals. They was promoting Ron DeSantis to be the one to defeat Trump.
He's no longer gonna.
They know he ain't got a chance now. What's this right here? Let me just play. Let me go back right quick. Hold on. I'm just gonna play this video of them issuing the advisory to not go there. Hold on.
Moving to the Sunshine State. According to the statement, the advisory comes in direct response to Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' quote, aggressive attempts to erase Black history. And it calls Florida openly hostile toward African Americans.
He said, guess where the head of the NAACP mansion is located? Florida. So they're going to ban themselves from going?
People of color and the LGBTQ individuals. CNN has reached out to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for comment, but did not receive a response. NAACP has issued.
All right, so that's that. them trying to convince you not to go. Now we're going to talk about this fear mongering they're doing a lot with DeSantis. They're trying to do the same thing they did with Trump, except with DeSantis, they're trying to make it more singled on just one state almost. DeSantis' $13.5 million police program lures officers with violent records to Florida. Governor's incentive scheme recruits officers with history of excessive violence or who has been arrested since signing up. Now, what do you think about this part? He's asking for officers in other states who have been fired or got in some trouble with something violent to just come to Florida and become a cop. Will
That's some
defend
crazy
you.
shit.
Huh?
That's some crazy shit.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. This part made me go, you might not want to be in Florida if they telling cops who are violent, the ones who have stuff on the record where they're doing something violent, to come to Florida.
But they're everywhere else, so it's not really any difference.
But he's telling all of them to come to Florida.
And you think they're all going to go to Florida?
He's giving them more money. He's offering to pay them more money.
Well, that's some fucked up shit.
So you still would be cool in Florida if you knew the cops, the aggression level might rise?
Well, I don't live in Florida, so I can't say
I'm
that.
saying if you lived in Florida.
I don't live in Florida, so I can't give an opinion on that. Talk
Now-
to somebody that live in Florida.
Now, one of the things Ron DeSantis is saying that I'm trying to defend officers who are in situations where they were forced to make a split-second decision and now they're being punished for it. I'm going to make sure you come here and get a fair shake. That's his whole platform he's trying to push. If you notice, the last couple of months, Ron DeSantis has been pushing a lot of policies through to try and get the platform that Trump already got. Trying to show, look at Florida. Like Trump got make America great again, make America great again. Ron DeSantis be saying, make America Florida. That's his thing.
What is his slogan?
Make America
the comeback
Florida.
of America?
Huh?
Isn't
No,
his slogan?
I'm saying that people are using him to say, he's saying make America Florida. So whatever I'm doing in Florida is what I would do for the country.
Well, with that new thing he added, that made people look at him differently.
What thing?
The police officer thing.
Oh, you talking about this one? So you were that was one of your friends, wasn't Ron DeSantis? You thought he was somebody you should support, didn't you?
Some of the policies that he has in place, I agree with, but I don't agree with this.
Would you vote for him?
No, I wouldn't vote for him.
I'm just saying, if you wouldn't vote for him, you can't vote. You can't vote for him. You wouldn't vote for Ice Cube.
Don't tell me who I can vote for.
You can't.
Why?
Because he has the same platform, don't he? One you agree with more.
Says who?
Wow. Okay.
Says who?
All right. It's their website. Which presidential candidate will be the worst for Black America? This is the Griot. They didn't even say who would be the best person. They said we're gonna make this article about who is the worst person that can get in office. Now look at the list they put up here. Marion Wilson has at the bottom of the list. He's the least threatening. That's what they're saying. They got the stuff they written out for why they think she's the least threatening. Number one thing is that she'll never be in office. Then you got Joe Biden. Even though his history says differently, they got him at 11 out of 12. That's the least threatening. Then you got Perry Johnson, Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm gonna keep going. Larry Elder is more of a threat than Joe Biden. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Then you got Nikki Haley. Then you got Tim Scott as number 3 most threatening person. And obviously you got Trump and DeSantis. DeSantis won, by the way. Then you got Trump. How is Tim Scott more of a threat than Joe Biden?
Because he's a black man. That's a Republican.
Like,
that's why he's threatening.
Then he said what he's done for black people. For years, Tim Scott pushed for the Walter Scott Notification Act, legislation that would incentivize reporting on deadly shootings by law enforcement. He also fought for, no, that's it. He also said something about police, not police brutality, but being police while black thing. He actually spoke on that too.
What did he say?
Remember when he said he was pulled over 100 times for being black?
Oh yeah, I remember when he said that.
So he's one of the. Some people feel like the Republican Party used him to put that notion out there. We understand it as it exists. He was the only black person in power or in position to be able to say that and be a representative for the Republican Party. But as I said, it's part of his platform now. Then you got, so that's the Griot. Then you got the Root, who said, should black people be afraid now that Ron DeSantis plans to announce his presidential bid on Twitter?
What's the difference between griot and the root?
They're not the same.
They're the same. They're
They're
exactly
not.
the same.
The
They're the
griot,
same.
we've seen them retract stuff. We haven't seen the root do it.
They're the same.
How?
To me, they're no different.
How?
They both put out the same Democratic shield bullshit. It's no fucking different. They both the same.
Which is funny because you have what's the name at the head of the griot, so you would think they would have more balanced beliefs. But anyway, I'm not even gonna show his what's-called. Governor Newsom reportedly floated Oprah as potential replacement for Senator Dianne Feinstein. Could actually help keep him out of political hot water. Now, this woman Feinstein clearly should not be in office. She's sick as hell. She got all these ailments, but you can't get rid of her.
She's on a protective class
because she's an elder
and she's disabled.
So that's ableist if you get rid of her. Ageist and ableist if you get rid of her. And she could probably her family will probably try to sue.
She's in a protective class.
So now he wants to replace her with Oprah. Why do they keep trying to float Oprah's name in political discussions?
You scared she's gonna be a president?
No, I'm just saying every year they put her name in some political discussion for something. And I don't know why. Clearly she's not gonna do it.
She's a big name.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has floated appointing media mogul Oprah Winfrey if Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat becomes vacant amid deepening health concerns. According to the Associated Press, Winfrey is among the names that Newsom is considering appointing should Feinstein willingly leave her seat. The 89-year-old California senator returned to Washington on May 10th after shingles diagnosis and treatment that kept her out of action for 10 weeks. Lady, step down. The same thing happened with the woman who was what's her name? Supreme Court Justice.
Bird
I forgot her name. But you know her name. She died. I think she was dead a month or so before they announced it publicly. But she's another one of the people that stayed in office forever, knowing that she shouldn't be in office unless you die in office, and now they gotta replace you with somebody when you could just step down. You got a name? Hold on. All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Placing a celebrity in a seat that could help Newsom avoid picking favorites among actual declared Senate candidates, AP added. U.S. Representative Barbara Lee is currently running against Representative Katie Porter and Adam Schiff. Lee is black and Porter and Schiff are white.
Ginsburg, that was a name.
Ginsburg, yeah.
Ruth.
Yeah. So they always do this. Just staying off too long. That should be capped for how long you can be in office.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me Hillary Clinton admits age is an issue for Biden in 2024. Hold on, y'all. Hillary Clinton admits age in the issue for Biden in 2024. You think this means something for her to say this publicly?
She's saying she wants his ass out.
Durham interview. We ain't gonna talk about this. That lost his marbles. Oh, that's him. Biden talking crazy after Hillary said he was too damn old. Trump getting African American vice president. Tim Scott easily made slot of himself, whatever. So there's people throwing it out there now. What we've been saying is he probably would choose a black VP,
which is going to be Tim Scott.
They're saying Tim Scott or Donaldson, either one. Tim Scott, presidential long game. Now, people are saying that Trump welcomed him into the race. What is it for Scott? What's in it for him? He probably will end up being his choice. Now, Donaldson was another person they are asking, do he want to do it? We're not even going to show that. Let's jump forward. Hold on, y'all. Oh, Byron Donalds. I didn't know he was married. He said, I'm in an interracial marriage. Being in an interracial marriage is cool unless you're dealing with a black Republican. Because if you're a black Republican in an interracial marriage, then interracial marriage ain't cool. We can't use race to weaponize our politics and our media. He said, it's cool when they do it. When the liberals are doing it, it's okay. But with us, we get stigmatized. Is that fair? Is that a fair point?
There's already the stereotype that that's what they do to black Republicans.
So it's kind of a stigma that's only been placed on black Republicans. Hold on. I am showing what the hell. Okay. What we going right here?
Are we back talking about COVID?
I'm gonna be careful. I'm just gonna read the headline. Prepare for next pandemic. Prepare future pathogens with every deadlier potential than COVID. WHO chief warns. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all we're gonna say. You said a few months ago they're gonna let people do what they want this summer, and coming in the winter time, it's gonna be pretty bad for them. All right, let me. What is this? No, I'm not. Should I play what he said?
Go. Oh, what did he say?
He said what I just said. It's gonna be even deadlier. That was the WHO chief that said that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone.
No, pointed out that this is the WHO chief.
I ain't taking no chances.
Take the chance. Shit, we could be banned for a couple weeks.
No, I'm good.
No, do it.
All right. Elon Musk Neuralink gets FDA approval from humans test of brain implants. So now they're the Neuralink that Elon Musk been talking about, where he said he will connect people to the internet, basically. Elon Musk's brain implant company Neuralink on Thursday said it had received Food and Drug Administration's approval to launch the first in-human clinical study. We're almost there. They're about to try to connect. Well, they have been introduced as far as the internet. Now they're giving you Neuralink studies on tests on humans. So how long do you think before those two things collide? And people are
not very long at all.
A couple of years, maybe.
Not even a couple of years.
All right. Oh shit. Okay. All right. We gonna get up out of here now. Travis don't feel like we're gonna get up out of here and let y'all go. We was gonna bring you up, but we'll do it next week. You got anything else you want to say? Last thing you want to say?
Thanks for viewing the channel.
Thank y'all for showing up.
Mystery Man finally showed up at the end.
What up, Mystery Man? But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Oh, by the way, I did want to say this, and we're gonna talk about this next week. To all any of y'all boxing fans out there, I want y'all to tell me in the chat right now.
Oh, this will tell me everything I need to
I need
know.
y'all to tell me something right now. This is gonna be a big deal when I'm about to ask you. Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence? I need y'all to tell me who you got between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Let me see what y'all got to say right quick before we get out of here. Because we just saw Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. I do think Devin 175.
Eastwood said Spence and Crawford.
He said Spence and Crawford. Oh, you ain't picking, huh? Draw.
Eastwood said
Eastwood
draw.
Can't choose. I need it. Tell me a lot.
I don't give a fuck about Screen Yard anymore. The thrill is gone.
He said the thrill is gone.
Spence. How did I know that?
George said Spence.
You said it was gonna be Terrence. That's everything I need to know. It ain't never gonna be peace between us, George. It ain't never gonna be fucking peace between us.
All right. So George said Spence. Eastwood said draw.
Eastwood said Spence too.
Spence by decision. All right. I'm gonna say that I got Spence.
Wow.
Mending. Oh Lord, we're gonna let y'all get out of here. I just need to know that. We're gonna talk about that next week. some of the fights coming up and all that other stuff. But anyway, man, thank y'all for showing up and listening to us. It's a shorter show than normal, but ain't really feeling it right now. But anyway, man, be safe. All praise to the Most High. And peace, man. Hold on. Sorry. I wasn't ready.